I'm telling you, you guys miss out on some of the best dance moves when I'm not quite live. Because, of course, I mean, as much as I want to dance, I do tone it down a little bit. But I tell you, this chair gets wiggling. But hello, everyone. Welcome to Double XP Season 2, Episode 3. Woo! Yeah, this is 3, right? We're on 3? Yeah. Okay. All right. Hello, camera. Hello, everyone. We're very excited to be here. I am, of course, your host, Kay.
And I am your other host, the one and only Punisher. Welcome, everybody. I hope everybody is having a fantastic Wednesday. So excited to be here. I would say that I love to dance. Part of my non-dancing is because I'm very limited. President Pun needs a new chair.
I hope you feel better, Will. I'm sorry you feel feeling rough.
I'm sorry, man. I hope it passes quickly.
But yes, we're excited. Okay, so we had talked about yesterday on Drop the Mic, which was Punisher's newest show. The premiere was on last night, her and Josh, and they're talking about music stuff as one would, right? And this is offset from a really good podcast, by the way. This is for everyone to keep track of. But we had mentioned that Tyler, once again, is supposed to be on here. And
Peer pressure.
I was hoping that bringing it up and other people guilting him into it would maybe make him feel bad. But unfortunately, Psych, here he is.
Hey, gotcha. What's up, everybody?
He is on wireless connection still, guys. He did not, in fact, get his computer fixed for us because he hates everyone.
I hate everything.
But he loved us enough to show up because we peer pressured him. Is that what it was?
That's what it was.
Pressure?
In fact, you know what? I'm pretty sure Mike himself directly messaged.
He did.
He brought it up. So thank you, Mike. I think you really sealed the deal.
Me and Mike had a good conversation thereafter. So yeah, I may or may not have talked him into actually finally downloading and playing Apex Legends. So you know,
all right, okay. That's a brave move right there. Power play.
You got to give a little peer pressure back. You can only take so much. You got to give it back too.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Okay. But yes, okay. We are actually gonna let Tyler take over the reins for most of this episode because sink or swim, right? He can only do terrible. No, I mean great. He can only do
push
great.
Him in there and hope that he swims.
He's gonna do awesome because he's awesome.
Yeah,
and he's taken Nostalgia Nook today. He's gonna tell us about Dark Souls. He's also got some news articles for us. So hold on to your britches. He's coming prepared. He knows a thing or two about a thing or two.
Maybe
I'm putting my seatbelt on just in case it gets wild.
Wild stallions. Okay, so we are actually going to move right into our new releases. Okay, that one is by far and large my favorite song on anybody's transition on any show. I don't know what it is about that one, but that bass hits. And
it makes me want to go out like anywhere and just start going.
Right, that walk.
Before we actually do the new releases, on that note, I want to say that while I'm on my phone for some reason, I actually can't see or hear the commercials or the intro for that matter. I don't know. So I just see you two dancing to nothing on my end. I don't know. So that's why it kind of is. That's why I myself have not been doing much dancing, but I'm just going to start joining in. Just silent dancing.
It's a dancing.
Shadow dancing.
Shadow dancing. You've just been sitting there like, and we're.
I know, yeah. Last time I was on here, that's what happened. But
so,
anyway,
listen, if you need someone to be awkward, there you are, right there. That's a number one way to do it. You're the guy. You're the guy. All right. So, on the note of new releases, we are improving upon our trailer usage. I hope. So, I'm trying something new. We're going to give a little bit of details about the game, and we're going to have the trailer playing while it's going on. And yes, it's in several tabs of YouTube. Cannot deny. I got to work with what StreamYard will give me. So let's just, I'm not sure I'm on the right one because I'm not. Okay. All righty. Hello. All right.
Hi.
Okay.
All right.
Alrighty. So, Punt, if you would lead us off.
I sure will. Okay, so coming out tomorrow, we have Foreclosed, which is for the Xbox One, Series X, Switch, and Steam. It's an action-adventure RPG that's narrative-driven, set in a cyberpunk world filled with action, suspense, and experimental augmentations. Looks pretty badass.
It does. It looks pretty awesome.
I love
the
colors.
colors.
That's what I'm saying. I love the colors.
Jinx.
Pinch Pokey on me a Coke.
Yeah, and I hate it that I'm not going to share the audio just because it's going to help not be an issue, right? But and all the audio for all of these songs this week are super awesome. But I have to say that this Hades soundtrack is slapping. It is slapping.
Oh,
so if you can go to YouTube or anywhere you go to watch your game trailers traditionally and listen to it because but I'm sorry, Punisher.
Mind blowing. Okay, well, on to Hades. Hades comes out the 13th for Xbox One Series X. It is going to be on Game Pass, and it's coming out for PS4 and 5. It's an action roguelike dungeon crawler from the makers of Bastion, Transistor, and Pyre, where you hack and slash your way out of the underworld. I almost read that as Rouge. Do you know why?
Rouge. I don't know what you mean.
Watch out, there's a Rouge sneaking up behind you.
All right, so we've got, and I'm not going to lie, I didn't give her anything to describe Madden because we know what Madden is, right? And I can go ahead and just interrupt and say that this is specifically the Dynasty Edition, which is only coming out for the Xbox One and Series as an early release, but it's coming out for other stuff, and it's staggered, but the next couple weeks.
So one would describe this as maddening. Oh, come on. A little bit of louder groan.
Not bad.
I'm going to play because it's good graphics as they usually are, but it says at the bottom on this next bit, like right here, enhanced footage, but actual gameplay. Pretty solid.
That is pretty solid,
that
man. That
looks pretty good. Yeah.
By the way, this one is coming out on the 17th.
Yes.
For Switch, PS4, and 5. Oh, sorry, my bad. Right. Xbox One Series X early release.
Yeah, it will be out for the PS4 and everything. And then, of course, that's just the Dynasty Edition. So, I think it's over $100. This is the special fancy edition for all you diehard fans out there. But yes, okay. So there's that really good graphics as usual with these sports games. They've got that going for them pretty good. I'll give them that.
Yeah, buddy. Okay, so moving on, another colorful game. We have on the 18th, Rogue Explorer for Switch and PS4 and 5. It's an action-adventure roguelike that features multiple levels to dungeons that change layouts at different times. And if you die, you don't lose all your stuff. Hey, bonus. Just stat boosts and special skills you unlocked on the last trip will be all you lose.
Mm-hmm. Which is kind of nice because, traditionally, I've not really done the rogue ones because that reason, honestly, it's a tough thing to want to get into. Tyler, you've experienced the roguelike things a little bit. Explain it to our audience because I get confused.
It is a very, very niche thing to kind of put a fine point on, but at the end of the day, most of them are dungeon crawlers, kind of, and you go into these dungeons, which are usually procedurally generated. And, you collect loot, weapons, all that good stuff along the way. If you die, you typically lose all of that stuff and got to start the dungeon over. And and in a couple of them that I have played, you're able to leave the dungeons kind of like whenever, and that lets you come back with your loot, but you also have to start over. But when you start over from that, you'll be stronger. It's kind of like, I've only played a couple of them, though, so that's my understanding.
I hate the whole so much tied into your death. I die a lot in games. I'm not going to lie. Right. I mean, my learning curve sometimes is not the greatest, especially in certain single player games. So, it's nice to be able to have that forgiveness. But I mean, that particular one kind of looked fun. Not going to lie.
It does look fun. That learning curve, I feel like I kind of go in just a learning circle. I don't even really curve. I just kind of keep going and going. And going.
It happens.
And going.
Yeah. Not to point on it.
Mike, there are a lot of roguelike games. In fact, I skipped over 2 of them and picked the ones that I thought looked the coolest because everyone was like, this week, I think we want people to go spelunking.
That genre has gotten a lot more popular within the last 5, 6, 7 years. Yeah.
That's fair. You know, as it does. But yeah, you know, I actually didn't ask Tyler, how's your week? I'm so rude. How has your week been?
My week's been okay. You know, another vehicle in the garage as always.
Always.
As you know. So, you know,
I was unaware. What?
I didn't think you did. Yeah,
right.
Surprising.
That's
surprising.
Yeah.
So, you know, your usual adulting stuff, work, car trouble, bills, all that good stuff. It's been a pretty average week. Actually, it's been a good week, though.
And pun, you done anything fun? Is the fun pun done? Anything?
Other than read voraciously, still play ESO, and also have had a vehicle in the garage.
That is right, yeah.
Yes,
Playing
and
ESO.
it's proving to be more trouble than we expected. And
I'll have you know that on Neverwinter, our guild is up to like 37 members. So
yeah, it is.
If anybody wants to start, you know, in Xbox Neverwinter, you can totally join the Rat Bastards. We're open to everybody. Now, seriously, we're open. Like, I mean, I guess there may be a point we have to start kicking people out, but we haven't hit that yet.
Yeah.
So I was about to say, I mean,
yeah,
you guys could totally, like, I would give Neverwinter more of a shot probably if I was forced to play with other people. So if you want to, like, force me in there one of those nights, yeah, just be like, Carrie, get in here, get off ESO.
I tried to, okay, you know what? I'll hold you to that. I know. We'll use this as this live thing to be like a verbal contract. I'll be like, do you remember that?
I am letting everyone who watches this be witness to the fact that when you force me to do something, I don't, but now I am held, like you said, by contract to do this. So
yeah, that's fair.
Well, hey, you know, I was peer pressured into being here on my cell phone with audio delay and freezing and all that good stuff. So I mean, I think Carrie can be peer pressured to play Neverwinter. I mean,
I think I mean,
you know,
yeah.
Okay,
all right. Well, I guess on that note, we are gonna take our first commercial break. So be sure to stick around and catch more of our, quite frankly, dumbasses on here, and we will try to monitor our language better than we do on the late night shows. But we can't promise. We cannot promote anything. Okay, we can't. We can't. Sorry.
No promoses here.
Not a single one. Nary can one be found. But okay, stick around.
Is promos a food?
Yeah. Nothing is a sexual oriented thing. I don't know.
God,
you can tell so many
promiscuous.
Promiscuous. I'm sorry.
Good try.
My mind lives in the gutter. I cannot help. I'm sorry. Okay, listen. This is Double XP. Exactly. This is Double XP Podcast, home of all things video games. This is hosted by Pinfall Stream, and we are sponsored now by Raise and repsports.com. So go ahead and check them out, and I'll run their ad right after this. Stick around. We will be right back.
Doo-doo.
This is why I can't stop. One foot in front of the
So that first ad was once again Ray's energy drinks. Their newest limited edition strawberry lemonade looks delish. So be sure to use our code GGN10 for 15% off anything on their site. And that's repsports.com. That was followed by one of our newer shows. Technically it's rebranding, but Pinfall Podcast. That's on Sundays at 10 Eastern. And the third one, I guess, was Geek Gauntlet every Saturday at 10 Eastern as well. And you, of course, can catch Will and Sean. They've been doing a lot of interviews recently. They are airing exclusively on Twitch, on Will's Twitch, because he got affiliated. So we are we're working it out to where it's going to re-air on Tuesday mornings. I'm pretty sure it's still going to be at 9, like when we usually try to have the anchor stuff up. I'm sometimes stuck at that. I'm not going to lie, but I just laziness, hey. But I will have that set up to where it'll re-air on all of its normal destinations on Tuesday after they do, because I got that exclusivity thing. All right, so super long story long.
That's by the way, Tyler, I appreciate that. Like when we cut back from commercial, all of us were doing the same thing like this. Like, yeah, you pulled that off really well. Even though you couldn't see it, but you were right in there doing.
He could hear the song. See, that's the nice thing about Pinfall's commercials, right? We're becoming like, you can see the image and hear it. It's one of those auditory pictures now.
Well, see, I actually didn't. Yeah, but I don't even have a picture to go by. Actually,
I forgot you said you don't have a picture.
That's what I'm saying. Like we come back and we're all doing the same thing, and I'm like, Tyler, you're spot on.
He is. I'm so bad. I'm sorry. I remembered from last time that you couldn't hear the audio, but I completely ignored that you said that you couldn't hear the picture. Oh my! Help!
Great.
I need help.
Next, he's going to be smelling music. I mean, what are we going
to I mean, I could make some money off me. This goes too much further.
All right, I need to get me a cage built up and some traps laid out. Just on the off chance I need to, snag them to make some money, sell them to the circus,
I'm easily fooled, so maybe no traps required,
Don't make it super like don't put super good food on the traps, because you'll probably catch me.
There you go. No, I would probably leave retro games in a pile, especially and some Pokemon cards.
Oh, that
trail. Yeah. That would really get them.
Even though I know what to expect now, I'd still fall for it just because of what you said the items would be.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So before we keep talking about super dumb stuff, we're going to move into news. All righty. I haven't been printing off anymore. So here's my baby clipboard.
It's so cute.
That's super cute.
It's a notepad holder, but it's an actual functioning clipboard. So
it's so tiny.
I am keeping this. This thing's a couple years old now. I tell you, but
it is, isn't it? Yeah.
I believe that's from Walmart or Dollar Store. One, two. But all right,
that's a place to get anything.
We actually all have news for you today. So you know what, Pun? You've got one. How about you start us off here?
Okay, I sure will. So, members of the U.S. Congress have signed a letter passing new laws that no longer allow children to purchase loot crates.
Your audio is coming in and out weirdly.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yo, how about now?
That beautiful.
Okay,
that's
cool.
better.
Do you want me to start over again?
Yeah, actually, that was kind of garbled.
Members of the U.S. Congress have signed a letter for passing new laws that no longer allow children to purchase loot crates. Several top gaming companies were listed, such as Epic Games, Sony, Blizzard, and Microsoft. They feel that because so much of what's in the crates is hidden with that preview, it's too close to gambling, and you don't always get what you want in your crate the first time around. Therefore, it encourages more spending. Some changes have already been made by the ESRB regarding this, but Congress wasn't convinced that it was enough. Although we already have the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act in place, Congress wants to go a step further and introduce the age-appropriate design code that was set in place in the UK last year. In theory, it would help keep popular games and social media safe for kids under 18 by disallowing inappropriate content but still allowing them to interact and learn with their favorite games. It should be noted that the AADC does not directly prohibit the purchase of loot crates or small transactions. So, how does everybody feel about this?
Wait, The AADC does not limit.
I am so sorry. The age appropriate design code. I'm sorry. That was my
No,
bad.
okay. I was like,
yeah,
wait, okay.
It's short for that. Excuse me.
I mean, I know that there's a lot of countries that loot crates are not legal. And like, for instance, Apex, if you buy Apex packs, it just gives you the crafting materials to be able to make the specific item that you would want, which, I mean, I get that. That's kind of nice to be able to do that. I can totally get where that would be considered gambling. I have spent obtuse amounts of money on Apex, which actually is a perfect roll-in to that whole poll that everyone spent a lot of money on video games, right? So I thank you everyone who answered on that poll. A lot of fun, especially everyone who revealed the reasons why. I was in with a 500 to 1,000, 100% it was because of Apex. Like, that's the game. That is the one. There's a few that has easily spent over $1,000, and it's over the course of several years, but I bet some of that had to have been from like random stuff. I mean, it could have just been from packs, but packs are usually kind of more expensive than, you know.
I haven't actually kept a running tally. I put myself in the 1 to 500 range because ask me in a couple of years and it'll probably be 1,000 on ESO. But I am bad for buying like the crown crates because I subscribe every month. I get like a certain amount of coins to spend, and I'm bad for that. I'll buy 2-3 crates, blow through it, and still not get what I want, but I'll just keep wanting to go back and do it. I could see where this would be an issue, like
Neverwinter.
You know,
that's half of Neverwinter's thing is random roll stuff.
Oh,
like
God.
they give you ways to where, like, if you have the VIP, which is their monthly subscribing thing, you get the key one a day to unlock one of these boxes, and you don't know what you're going to get. And there's other things too, but of course that initial $10 is necessary in order to get the keys.
Indeed. And
editions do to me, right? I get that. I feel that.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I spent any money on Warframe. Like, I feel like maybe if I did, it was only one time, and I really specifically remember thinking this is going to be the grindiest game if I don't spend money on it. So, you know, I didn't get really far in the grand scheme of things.
If I stuck with Warframe, I'm sure I would have spent money. I'm sure of it.
I think the most I've put into into a single game in one go was the Mass Effect Legendary Cache. That was the biggest chunk of money I've thrown in a video game, and it was so worth it. But
yeah. I mean, you gotta pay for what you love.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%.
So I don't know. I think that this potentially is not a bad idea, especially because they are just specifically doing it for minors, right? And at the end of the day,
it's 18. It's 18 and under is what they're aiming for.
I guess there are some 16-year-olds and 17-year-olds that are working and making their own money that arguably, I guess, they should maybe be able to do it. And where are you going to nitpick that? But overall, it is nice to think that the 7-year-old won't blow $3,000 because they accidentally got a hold of the credit card buying a bunch of these boxes.
Yeah, agreed. Like, I feel that under a certain age, definitely it should be like a monitored system. But like you said, 16, 17, in some places kids are making their own money. They should be allowed to spend it how they wish. So, I mean, it's kind of a, how do you work that? I hope they find something though. Like, I mean, it's not a bad idea by any means. So I guess we'll see.
All right, Tyler, what about you? Hit us with some news.
All right, let me see what I got here. You guys got printouts and a clipboard. I'm just looking at a laptop screen, so I feel kind of left out.
No, I'm looking. I got a Word document. I'm like putting behind StreamYards and then in front of it. Like,
there we go.
I was this close to just reading it off because I didn't think I was going to have time to print it out, but I did, so I feel bad. I was this close.
Okay, I don't feel so bad now. So without further ado. Commodore's Amiga Adieu.
Adieu, that stinks.
Commodore's Amiga 500 will be the next console to receive a mini version that comes with built-in games, much like the NES and Super Nintendo minis, as well as the PlayStation Classic, and it's going to be called the A500 Mini. The Amiga 500 was the most successful model of Amiga gaming PCs, which saw most of their use in the mid to late 80s, primarily in Europe. And this new mini retro system is being developed by Retro Games Limited and has been confirmed to have the following games built in upon release. Those games are Alien Breed 3D, Another World, ATR, All-Terrain Racing, Battle Chess. I like to play some Battle Chess. That sounds awesome. Cadaver, Kickoff 2, Pinball Dreams, Simon the Sorcerer, Speedball 2, Brutal Deluxe,
Oh my god.
The Chaos Engine,
How many games?
Worms, The Director's Cut, and Zool. 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 There will be 25 games total included, and you will be able to. This is.
Did you
neat.
just list 25 games?
I did not actually. No.
Okay, I was about to say, good lord, you could have said etc.
Yeah, no. That was only like 10 or something like that. But there will be 25 games total included, and you will be able to add even more on your own using something called WHD Load, which is an installation package for Amiga software that will be included with the system, alongside, of course, your usual fixings such as the controller. The system will also be able to switch between 50 Hz and 60 Hz screen refresh rates, save states, a CRT filter, various scaling options, and you'll also be able to plug in and use your own USB keyboard. The A500 Mini will release early next year and will be $139.99 in the US and $119.99 in the UK. That sounds like a pretty good package they got going on there.
That is. I've not heard of. I've already forgot what you said at the beginning of all that. Amiga?
Amiga.
I've never heard of Amiga. I really haven't.
Yeah.
I have now.
Now I have. Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
That's why we're here.
But all right, neat. Okay. I'm gonna hold off on you. Check the private messages, and I'm gonna skip over you for a second and say one of mine.
That's fair.
But okay, so real quick, from the publisher Game Mill Entertainment, which is the name behind the upcoming Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, the like Super Smash Bros. S game, there is a brand new sci-fi first-person shooter that is based on Nerf. Yes, you heard me correctly. Nerf Legends, which I love. Uses real Nerf blasters from so excited. From the Mega, Ultra, and Elite lines. They fire lasers instead of darts, as they do. But that's okay, because the single-player campaign contains 19 levels of, like, evil, murderous robots and stuff, so that's great. And it also comes with a 4v4 or 8-player free-for-all multiplayer mode that is cross-platform. So I can confirm that we will be buying this. We are just big Nerf fans. So if anybody wants to join, you know what? I didn't see a price listed, but I also didn't look. It was just announced. I don't know if it was announced, but the article for it was from today. So I don't know if they have a set date or how that's working. I will look more into that as it's developing. It still looks pretty early on. You know, it looks a little rough, but also it's a Nerf game. So really, how great is it gonna at the end of the day? But all right. Yeah, Tyler, get us with your other news article.
I'm going to try to maybe summarize this because as I've glanced back at it, it's a little long-winded. So I'll try to get to the short and sweet. Most people should be familiar with Mr. Hideo Kojima, the creator of Metal Gear Solid. Well, several years ago, he released, of course, Metal Gear Solid 5. That was the last main series installment in the series before he left Konami. But the game was not quite finished all the way, and we know this because there's like actual cut content that was documented in the game's collector's edition release, as well as some leaked unused assets that were spread about the internet. So didn't quite get finished the way it should have been, and Kojima likes to play tricks on his audience. He's always been like a very theatrical developer. His games are all like cryptic and mysterious, and so are his trailers and promotional material. He's always been that way. And also, he was originally going to be doing a Silent Hill game, brand new Silent Hill game, several years back. Didn't get to happen because, of course, he left Konami. So there's things involving him that not quite.
You're cutting out real bad. I'm going to remove you for a second. You might have to disconnect and reconnect because you are frozen on my screen. Okay, so, and then summarize that. Wait, I see. Oh, well, he just reconnected. Dang it. And he's not going to hear me say. He needs to summarize this because his summaries are not summarized. Tyler, We need to take another commercial break, and I still have something that I really would like to say. Oh, God. All right. Well, I will just go ahead and say it. I'm going to interrupt him. Sorry, guys. You're going to have to sit on the edge of your seats for more Metal Gear news. But real quick, kind of serious. Apex Legends developer Daniel Klein was fired from Respawn Entertainment after screenshots of old blog posts and public conversations were revealed, which included sexist and racist comments. Oof. Klein acknowledged that he did in fact say those things and noted that they were from 2007, but he wasn't using it to be a, whatever. He actually, it was announced by him on Twitter that he was that he got fired and everything like that. And again, apologized, did all that stuff. So later, in an interview with the gaming journal Kotaku, which is actually where I got some of this info from, it was suggested by them that this was brought up with malicious intent. Maybe they were asking him if he thought that because, it's not like this stuff hasn't been around and all of a sudden, but he himself has been at the receiving end of a lot of harassment and grief on social media because he was one of the ones, I guess, in charge of balancing certain characters like Watson. And a lot of, as he confirmed, like there's been that people get really angry over legend balances. Like there's a lot of Apex generates a lot of hate and anger. So like,
what do you mean?
It truly does. Such a toxic game. It really, really is. So he agreed with the theory. He said, you know what? Yeah, might be. It seems a little sus. But he actually urged EA to watch out for this stuff in the future to protect future employees. I mean, not to say that he shouldn't be, like apologizing for this thing, but I mean, it just sucks to sabotage somebody who's tried hard to make themselves better, right? I mean, we all should be allowed to improve. All right. Mm-hmm. Tyler, finish our Metal Gear summary. Summarize more. Smaller.
I'm so sorry. Don't know what happened. Basically, right, Mike? Yeah. Yesterday, a trailer was supposed to drop for a mysterious new PS5 project called Abandon. And Abandon's promotional material featured a text font that looked just like the Metal Gear Solid text font like they use on their box art. And also a blurred image of a middle-aged man wearing an eye patch, not unlike the many snakes of the Metal Gear Solid series, right? So the internet, of course, collectively stuck the tinfoil hat back on and was like, "Oh my gosh, this is the mysterious ruse master Kojima. He's maybe he's playing another trick on us of some sort. Maybe this is a new Metal Gear Silent Hill game. I don't know." Well, the trailer was supposed to drop yesterday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And I was actually watching this at work through some guy's live stream and didn't drop. Technical difficulties. The alleged game studio tweeted that they were having technical difficulties and could not deliver the trailer at this time. Don't have a date, don't have a time. It's just kind of didn't happen right now. And kind of let some of the wind out of my sails, not going to lie. I was kind of getting on the crazy train there for a little bit, thinking, oh, this might be Metal Gear or Silent Hill related, but I don't know. Probably not now, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I don't know. That is pretty, I mean, I know you said that he mentioned this earlier to me, and I asked, do you think it was on purpose? And he said, no, it did seem to actually be technical difficulties, but I mean, it could have been.
Could have been.
On purpose.
Could have been.
And also, like, maybe, I don't know. Like, it could just be that they were trying, maybe this particular assumedly new developing company for him or people that he's working with, maybe he's transitioning over and it's just like a slow thing. Like I'm assuming he must be one of the people, because you said it was a pretty small developing company, right? Like it was brand new.
Allegedly, yeah. Previously unknown, more or less.
So like I assume had a hand or two or five or whatever involved with that. So like, I don't know. Or maybe not. Maybe it's just a bunch of BS, like those weird murder stories that people come up with online and make it seem like it's real, but it's really not.
Listen, if it's a bunch of BS, then this poor little indie studio is really going to get some flack because they have, they are, because like they've not really done a great job at saying, at dissuading the rumors. I guess they've kind of went along with it. So, we'll see.
Okay, so we have to take another commercial break. We actually got to fit 2 more in. So I was going to have Tyler tell us about Dark Souls, but I love you, dear, but took a long time to tell us those 2 stories. So I'm not sure if we're going to have him talk about Dark Souls. If we do, he needs to do it in like 5 minutes. I got to beat him into you got women. I'm kidding. But no, in all seriousness, no, I just got to accelerate it because, like with Pun, me and her both kind of eased into this together. But now Tyler's just got to be whipped into shape. But he is full of a lot of information. But the thing is, he talks for a living. So, like, well, talks and listens. So, like, you know, we gotta encourage him sometimes. But on that note, we do need to take our second commercial break. So you guys stick around. This is Double XP from Pinfall Streams. We will be right back.
Up like we do. No one does us like we do. Always go hard with this crew. Welcome to the show, let's make moves. Nothing's gonna stop us, it's about to get rough. Turn the whole room up, it's never enough. Let's go, 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 let's go.
All right, guys, welcome back. That first commercial was for our new sponsor, Raise, and repsports.com. Check them out and use our code GGN10 for 15% off. And that was followed by First Gen Dads every Thursday at 10 Eastern. Sports Report Mondays at 10 Eastern. And then Sports Report After Dark, where people get naughty, is coming on right after, which is generally around 11:30 Eastern. But I also want to say that I am totally giving Tyler a much harder time than is necessary, and I'm aware of that, but I can't deny that I'm kind of having fun with it. So I'm sorry, Tyler. Am I an asshole? Yes. But is it in good fun? Most of the time. I should have took a drink with you guys. Everyone would have been synced up then. Dang it. Okay. All right. So, Tyler, Dark Souls. Why should we play it or not play it? Should we play it? Oh, hang on. I've got you muted.
Oh, no.
That wasn't on purpose.
No. Is that better? Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Good.
Well, now that I'm unmuted, I will say you didn't say anything incorrect earlier. You're not. It's okay. You're not giving me that hard time. I get it. As for Dark Souls, that depends. If you honestly, you do kind of want to play Dark Souls before I can answer that question, and you need to know beforehand that you are going to die a lot. Like, you know,
that's good to know.
Yeah. I will say that despite the frustration, despite the difficulty, despite the learning curve, this has been the only game in the last, I'm genuinely, everyone needs gimmick. Yes, they do. This has been the only game within like the last, I'm going to say 3, 4, 5 years that has really hooked me in the way that it has. And I know it came out, God, it actually came out, I think 10 years ago. I think Dark Souls turns 10 this year. But I only just got around to it. Yeah, right? And I finally understand the buzz behind it. It is a very just grand adventure, as cheesy as that sounds. Like, just seeing the way the map and the locations tie into each other. Like, you're doing your thing over here, and you take this path and fall down this tunnel, and then suddenly you pop out in an earlier area of the game. It's crazy. Like, it's just got great level design. I've had so much fun just honestly exploring and getting my ass kicked. I'm not gonna lie. It's almost part of the fun.
I feel
Go ahead.
Sorry, well, I feel stupid. Is Dark Souls, is that the one where you're like the snaky thing? Or am I thinking a different game?
I think you think of a different game.
Yeah,
maybe I'm thinking
Dark Souls is like a little guy against like just different enemies that are they're it's one of those games that you can only get hit like once, maybe.
Wow.
Okay,
I don't know what game, but maybe I'm thinking of Darksiders or something. I'm not sure.
Maybe.
No.
Maybe.
I don't know. I'll look it up later. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're okay.
Mike said it took him an hour to get past the tutorial in Dark Souls 2. I feel from what Tyler's saying that's okay.
That is, okay, that's a great example. Mike, I'm glad you said that. That is a great example of the essence of Dark Souls. It's going to take some time. You're going to die a lot, but it's going to be super rewarding. You really, I know, right? It sounds kind of weird, but like, it really is rewarding. Like, you really got to learn. Maybe
and enjoying the pain, right?
You might be onto something here.
Oh, it hurts so good.
I need to
right.
I gotta interject. When you say great adventure, all I could picture was the little polka dotted kerchief on a stick thrown over your shoulder. Hey, Mom and Dad, heading out, going on my great adventure. Gotta go slay some monsters.
Yeah, imagine that. Imagine like the cute little kid with like the little stick on his back, but in the distance is like this like castle on fire, and there's demons and ghosts everywhere. Like,
just walking away from it.
Yeah, that's kind of Dark Souls. It's been a very rewarding and challenging experience, and it's one of those games where you really do you can't just button mash. You really have to pay attention to enemies, their movesets, when you can move, when you cannot. That's the dark. Oh!
You are so right, Mike, and I am ashamed of myself because that's on my shelf over here.
It is. I never got to play that.
That's what I was thinking of.
Cool.
Sorry
it was weird.
Keep going.
In a good way.
Good.
It was weird in a good way.
You're good. But yeah, to further lend to that, just like due to the map connecting the way that it does, like, and it literally does, like the very first area you end up in, you can eventually circle back around. Like, even after you do late game stuff, there are ways to really directly get back to the very beginning area. And it's nice. It's not right. It's nice to go back through and just completely level those early game enemies, just completely deck them, because you're stronger now. You're better than you were before. Like, the sense of progression is just awesome, and that's been part of the thrill for me, man. It's difficult, and once you get good at it, and once you know what you're doing and know where you're going, it's just super awesome. I don't know. Like, you should play Dark Souls. You both should play Dark Souls. Is it hard? Yeah. You'll probably hate it. You'll probably hate it at multiple points, but you should try it. At least try it.
I swear I did play that. Like, I know that we were trying to figure that out, and like it's been a back and forth. But I remember so specifically there being like a hilltop. The graphics look very similar to it. Like, I'm going to say hilltop because it's very vague. But I just remember like maybe a cemetery, but I don't know. Walking around a corner, like going into like, I don't know. I don't think it was even a building. There's a staircase going down. That's all I know. Somewhere connected to, and there's a guy there. They're like, learn how to parry. I was like, okay, I couldn't parry. I couldn't do it. I don't know why. I can do it on other games, but I couldn't do it on this. And mind you, this was several years ago before I was really playing a lot of games, so my coordination was definitely needing some improvement. But I felt at that time, I was like, okay, well, I assumed it was one of those things that like you had to do it, right? Because there are a lot of games that's like you have to be able to do a few parries. So I was like, I can't do it. Goodbye, cruel game. And I talked about it with somebody later, and they were like, yeah, I couldn't parry either. I just killed him and went on. You could do that? You didn't have to parry him? Why did they tell me I had to parry him? So yeah, I had a terrible Like, I don't even know how long. I remember I died several times. But Code Vein, I have not.
Oh
played
my
Code
God!
Vein.
Listen, I started Code Vein. I started it, and yes, I thought that game was rad to start off with, but you have got to be paying attention and be on point, son. Otherwise, you're dead.
What is this style of game called? Like the really coordinated, tough enemy? Because it's not necessarily not these enemies aren't always really big. Like they can be scaled down, but they're just they just hit much harder than they do in most games.
You know, I was actually going to mention that it's kind of hard to say because Dark Souls is kind of a combination of several different things. Like it's kind of a roguelike, which we talked about earlier. It's a bit of a dungeon crawler. It's a bit of an action adventure. It's kind of all these things. So when people describe them now, which I can understand why, I've heard a lot of people just call them Souls-like games because the Dark Souls series really just took all these different formulas and kind of mashed them into one, and that's a Dark Souls game. So
and because it eats your soul, it consumes it in your attempt to beat it.
Yeah. It really does. Yeah.
You have to leave a part of it as like that's the exchange for the victory over the game.
It
fuels their servers.
It's beginning to feel that way. And okay, real quick. You actually just reminded me. It does actually have a multiplayer aspect. It's maybe what you think it would be. So imagine you're in the middle of a dungeon, right? You're in the middle of a boss fight. You're in the middle of a very intense boss fight, right?
Mm-hmm. As you do.
It's tough. He's almost dead. You're almost dead. It's really tense. And then suddenly you get a notification that pops across your screen. You are being invaded by another player. That player can come into your game and kill you while you're in the middle of whatever. And you got to go back to your last little bonfire, your last save point. Yeah. Needless to say, I've been playing almost strictly offline. I don't want no part of that on my first playthrough. No, thank you. But
that kind of reminds me of what was it, Watch Dogs 2 that had that like multiplayer messing with each other thing, because most of the time I don't think it was just like, I mean, it was a single player thing, but like if you had that turned on, because I remember it would pop up like somebody was a target or you were the target and you had to hide for like however long or blah blah blah, got money, I think. But
I make it a point to avoid those types of games. Anything that involves PvP that's not like outside of like Apex or Call of Duty or something. It's actually multiplayer that you go in there and do it for. I hate when I'm just running along doing my thing and somebody goes, boop.
Right. Yeah.
That's pretty much what it entails.
WoW.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why I always played on PvE servers on WoW. Okay, well, that's good. That's good. As long as there's that option, like I'll play it, but if there's not.
Well, I guess this is something that we might have to put on our. I'm gonna start on the Chronicles of We Happy Few, because I'm gonna be finishing this game for the next 3 years. I think I'm getting close to. I do think I'm getting close to finishing the second act. I kind of there's an achievement for surviving for 50 days. I'm not gonna play out the 50 days. I will cheat and sleep, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to do it now or wait till later. I kind of want to go through and get as many achievements as I can. Okay. Yes, I'm an achievement whore, and I'm getting close to 100,000. So
really,
I mean, I'm still like over 10,000 away, but I mean, I'm like 88, getting closer to 89. So I'm getting there. All right. This has been years in the making. I'm not very fast at getting achievements. Can't deny that. But
I did want to ask real quick: is Dark Souls on Game Pass? Either you know, I haven't been on there in quite some time. It's not.
I think it was it, or was it the second one that was on?
Oh wait, yeah, I think it was the second.
I have no idea, to be honest.
I have a question. Could I start the second one, or would I need to play the first one to understand? Like, is it a tie-in, or
there's the lore in this game is like really loose. Like you kind of gotta like read item descriptions and talk to really specific NPCs to kind of follow the lore. So not really. You can play any of them. Yeah.
Okay, that works for me.
All right, guys. Thank you, Tyler, for your in-depth. And that actually was a very nice. That's and I forgot. You know, did you say a tips and tricks? Did you have a specific? Because I was waiting to pop my little thingy up here. But if you could give us a very specific tip for new players or anybody else, just in just a real quick.
Explore, because you never know when you're going to find
Covers your face.
Wow. Okay. I see.
No, actually, I don't. Can you though? Because your face is covered.
Oh,
right.
well, here, I
All
could
right.
just do this.
Not bad.
There we
Not
go.
bad.
There we
Hey!
go.
What do
Hey.
you know? My, how the tables have turned.
It's a
The turns of
a
tables.
bright idea.
Oh, ha, ha, ha. That joke
There we
really
go.
lit me up.
Oh,
God, she's full of them. She really is.
Okay.
But-
All right. So
but-
explore.
Yes, explore, because you might find a cool new area. You might find a cool set of armor. You might find a cool way to beat another area. You never know. The whole, like I said, the whole map connects in some way or the other. You can play the game like out of order, so to speak. There is no dedicated late game, dedicated early game till you get like really far in. So
Right.
explore. You never know.
Okay. All right.
Nice. Thank
Well,
you.
we need to hurry into Nostalgia Nook. So yeah.
Nook. I'm gonna do
He made this coffee so he could drink on Nook, and I saw him down below. Like that was so delayed.
That was kind of frantic. Yeah, I honestly.
And then your
dropped the
camera
ball there.
froze while you did not have it up, so it held you up for even longer, right? So like you already dropped the ball, but then StreamYard said, "Run!"
So we'll get you back
Caught
up
me.
there. Go.
Caught me red-handed.
I did. Well,
or is
green-
it coffee red-handed?
God, she never stops.
She doesn't.
She
It's
never stops.
rotten. It's rotting from the inside out.
That was pretty
God.
good. That was pretty good.
All right, so Tyler is also doing Nostalgia Nook, guys, and
Let's go.
he did test the riddle on me earlier, so I do know, but Pun does not actually for the first time know which one this is. Here, I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut. Carry on.
All right. So, you are a grizzled mercenary tasked with a solo sneaking mission that just might involve some tactical espionage action, which is a hard, stressful job. So, hey, smoke a cigarette while you're at it to calm down a bit, only to then get right back to the mission. Oh, yeah, and while you're at it, make sure you're sneaking like a snake so you don't get spotted, or else things might just be a whole lot more difficult.
I know what it is.
I mean,
I mean,
you might as. I mean, nobody's hip hop happening in the chat, so might as well break the
It is
news.
Metal Gear Solid.
I meant Pun, but thank you, Tyler. You guys said it at the exact same time.
We
somehow.
did.
That actually worked out really well. If we
job.
planned that, that wouldn't have happened. I'm just going to be quite
Never
honest.
worked.
That was beautiful.
Absolutely.
But Tyler, I mean, I realized in retrospect that maybe the game that was also in a news article might, like, I was just thinking that. I was like, oh my God, why is Metal Gear so fresh on my mind?
Could be.
I realized that far too late.
Same.
Tyler,
But
wait.
I
Can we
just
do an
want to say
on-screen
that
high
your
five?
riddles. There you go.
On-screen high five. Yeah.
Your riddles were on point. Like I really enjoyed the riddles. I think that's
For
why
real.
like when you said it earlier, I was like, you know what? That's great. Do it. Run with it. All right. So
Thank
tell
you.
us about
Thank
Metal Gear nostalgia thing. Oh, and I have the cover right. Bam here.
Aha,
bye.
there it is.
That's
Sweet.
solid.
So, indeed, Metal Gear Solid was developed by Konami Computer Entertainment Japan and was released in the United States on September 3rd, 1998 for the Sony PlayStation. While by no means the first video game to feature a cinematic story and characters, it was perhaps the first to do so this well. Metal Gear Solid, at the time, was an absolutely breathtaking cinematic experience, and it still is, to be honest, that left many gamers, myself and my father included, feeling like they were right in the middle of an 80s action movie. The twists, the turns, the characters, and the drama were all very well portrayed and complemented by arcadey stealth action. Metal Gear Solid went on to become a very well-renowned series after the success of MGS1 and remains, to this day, the granddaddy of cinematic action-adventure games.
All right. Oh, I took the wrong one off.
I think I got it.
That Splinter Cell, that's a solid
Good
contender.
guess.
Yeah. But okay, so we are running a little late tonight, guys. But you're going to get that pun. You know that pun's going to happen. It's going to happen, right? And we love to run late because we just can't shut up, quite frankly. None of us. We all talk too much. And this is what happens when we don't get to express these video game rants throughout the week. We have to do with you guys.
We explode all over this hour show and it goes.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening.
Yes. Thank you.
This is our therapy, right?
Totally. It's how I get through the week.
Love Splinter Cell so much. Yeah, I want to say that I started one, but I can't actually. I don't know if I did. I'm probably mixing that up with like a Tom Clancy or something like that. Honest, I think I had a Splinter Cell, like an old one.
Probably didn't start I believe.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing the case. But okay, so we need our last commercial break. We will be back after this to get our puns and everything. So be sure and come back for that. Although we've had plenty of puns tonight.
Hey, Will's not feeling good. I had to make sure that I gave him an extra dose.
Yes. You know what? That's a very good reason to pun. See, that's a good reason right there.
Yes.
That's a good one. All right.
And I hope it worked.
There we go. This is Double XP Podcast for Pinfall Stream. Stick around. We will be back after this commercial break.
I missed out on that one.
Yes. Okay. So that was Raise energy drinks and Rep Sports 15% off GGN10. Use that code. A really good podcast. He has it named. No, I hate it so much. I told Josh a really good podcast like 8 times and he kept naming it Another Real Podcast, like spelled the same way. And I could not get that out of his head until more recently, but everything is named that and I can't change the name of it because I don't have it. So I'm very sorry. That is a really good podcast that will be coming on next Tuesday at 10 Eastern. And actually it will be Pun and I instead of Josh because he's going to be with Will doing their adorable thing of meeting and greeting in the airport that I'm super excited. I really hope that somebody is going to be filming to do that fantasy football, real reality fantasy football. Mouthful. And it was followed by Drop the Mic, which was Punisher and Josh's new show. And that was just on last night. So be sure and check that out. And then it'll be on again in 2 weeks. Goals. It's a horse, of course.
Yes, of course.
I guess it's that time.
It is that time.
If we have to.
If we must.
Oh, we must and we shall. Are we ready? All right.
Not
so today, I saw a car being driven by a sheep in a swimsuit. It was a lamb bikini.
Damn it. I hate it. You can set a clock by it. She has a terrible one and then she has a good one. Then she has a terrible one and then she has a good one. So twice a month I snort or laugh. Sometimes she'll get the solid laugh, but you must. Yep. She must and she did.
She must.
All right. Got her. She did. That was not. I don't know. I guess my mind did not go there at all. So I'm proud of you, Pun. That was a good one.
Thank you.
That was good.
Go ahead
that was good.
And run the resources, guys, for all of our picture and info credits. So if you are listening to the podcast of this later, be sure to check out the video and see all of said sources. So while that is going on, yes, everyone This has been fun. What did you guys think about Tyler? What did you guys think about Tyler? Be honest, chat. Be brutally insult him or compliment him. You could do that if you wanted. I'm not recommending, but if you want to, you can.
I'm a therapist. I can take it.
No, I think you did really good. I think you did really good.
You
did
good,
your
man.
first time, and you've done awesome.
Yes.
Yes.
Like, well, yeah, Mom said keep him. We're going to keep him.
Yep.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. I think I'll stay.
You think you might? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
You think you
I'll
might
finish my
get
computer.
that? I was going to say, you think you might get that computer fixed, huh?
Yeah. Peer pressure. Peer pressure.
Oh, peer pressure.
But, okay, so does anybody have anything they want to plug for this week or mention or last minute rambles?
I literally can't think of a single thing. My mind just went completely blank, which is not unusual.
I think I've rambled enough, actually.
Sorry.
I will say that, again, I promise, I'm getting ready to put up the pictures for the member raffle, and we will probably do a separate live video for that one, just because it did take a little while, and I think we're going to have a few more winners since it's going to be a combo for the 250, and I'm going to say like an early 300, but you know what? I think I'm actually totally not going to do that. I was thinking about it, but you know what? We have to have the number 300 in there, right? That's incentive for the last 4 people to come in, and we will have the pictures. We've got extra stuff. We've got all kinds of stuff. I want some of this stuffs.
Invite your friends, because she's got hella good stuff, y'all.
First, my closet has been full for like, I don't know how many months at this point. Like, I just kept buying stuff. I was like, I want this stuff. This stuff needs to be given out to people. And it's all really neat. I mean, I can't, Tyler, he found a lot of it. He did good. He did good work. He did. So you can thank him for most of that stuff. But we will do that. And then also, I meant to mention this earlier, but I had put a post in the group about future tournaments, specifically Apex. And just to say real quick, obviously the only way you can do custom games on there is to have a developer or creator content creator key thing. And obviously we are not. Nobody cares about us yet. So we don't get a key. So if we're gonna do this, we're just gonna have to play. I don't even know. I mean, it's going to have to be public matches, which really sucks because people can be so dumb in public matches. So we're going to do like Olympic rules, right? Average out the best 2 scores out of drop the worst one and then average out the other 2. Because sometimes you can have a stupid good game. You shouldn't have done that good, but there is a bunch of dumb people that you were fighting against. So, to even it out. I really want to do Apex first. I'm completely biased, but and I will be competing in this tournament, and I'm sure Tyler will also be competing. And anybody else who wants to join, you can either directly message me, you can go back and comment on the post. Just let me know. We are going to start doing this soon. I got to work out the scoring system, and we're going to get it ironed out. Ultimately, we're going to have prizes, and we're going to have other games. Like I'm going to do the Super Animal Royale, which is another battle royale. It's a lot of fun. And then, of course, Warzone, another battle royale. And, we'll probably maybe some just, I don't know, Cold War or something. If anybody has it, we can do some regular multiplayer. That one we can actually do as we can set up a custom lobby if we're not doing battle royale. I don't blame them for giving a bunch of people 64 player lobbies to mess around with, right? So, I don't blame them. That's fine. I'll accept it. But yes, so be sure to keep an eye out for that. And as always, check the group, the Facebook group for this week's poll or interactive post. And thank you again for everyone who voted on the last one. That was a lot of fun to talk about the game, our shameful walk as gamers. Actually, there's some shame and some pride in there, right? Like it's a mix of both. But yeah, so next week, episode 4 of season 2. So be sure and check that out. And as always, we hope that you have a week that's worth double XP. And it's getting more natural sounding the more we do it, right? So that may end up just being the catchphrase. We're gonna have it on our merchandise, like on all of our t-shirts. So, yeah, that's hopefully soon. T-shirts. If anybody, sponsors, all kinds of sponsors. We love sponsors. But yeah, like, share, comment, do all that stuff. Tell us we're awesome. And yeah, y'all have a wonderful evening. We've had fun. Guys. We'll see you next week, next Wednesday at 7 Central, 8 Eastern. Love everyone. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Peace out.